Right. Oh, hi, hey, yeah. Hey, folks. Olly Connelly, Daily Chaos, and yeah, I know I look like a traitor wearing a mask. We've already got the deal going on in Spain, where a lot of you realise I live, in Valencia, where if you don't wear a mask out in public, you get an instant fine when the police catch you, and they are all over the place. That's nice, eh? That's nice. I like the old Harleys. Right, anyway, so yeah, I'll give you a bit of an idea of, I don't know if you can see people wandering about in their masks. I don't want to sort of point cameras straight in their faces, but you can get a bit of an idea that everybody is masked up, including the kids. I don't really want to video kids because I'm not that kind of a guy. But I'll just give you a bit of an idea of people walking down the prom here, because this is what's coming to, well, pretty much everywhere else, I guess. Yeah, just folks. Everyone's wearing a mask. Everyone is wearing a mask. And unless they're jogging, if you're doing some sort of form of exercise and you're allowed then not to wear one, or if you go over there on the beach, which is where I'm going to go now, just to have a walk down the shore and have a chat, catch up with a few things, express one or two personal concerns, what's going on, just a few angles, and I can get rid of that now, because that's the thing, isn't it? Do you want a multi-thousand euro or pound fine, and all the rest of it? I don't know, maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I'm a coward wearing my mask. Maybe I just shouldn't be, but the fact is that they're a very compliant lot here in Spain. Franco wasn't that long ago. Members of my family remember the Franco regime very well, and even tanks on the streets. So they are a very compliant lot. And so unfortunately, whereas in the UK, thank goodness, for example, and in the US, there is a more, what's the word? Well, there's more value on liberty. There is. Hence Brexit, for example, and Trump, as opposed to, the EU's great, the EU's great. Because of that, it's very easy to be the odd one out. I was watching the video, brilliantly filmed, sir. I don't know who it was. There was a video, I put it on my timeline on Facebook, I put it on Twitter, I put it on VK, somewhere else, I don't know, on daily chaos.news. Please register there, folks. Please support that site. I know I'm not doing a lot on it at the moment, but I will be. And hopefully we all will be. That video at Trafalgar Square, yeah? An hour and a half long or something. Really good stuff, mate. Whoever you are, thank you for giving us that ground zero report. And hey, clearly the guys there were, it was a peaceful protest. It was. For once, it was a peaceful protest. And oh, that's nice. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's nice. That is my stress relief. Come out and have a wander down here every day. And mask free on the beach. This is about the only place you can go mask free in this country. Anyway, yeah, it was clearly peaceful, and then the police get really, really rowdy, and it's really nasty what they did, pinning that guy to the ground. I read a comment from somebody asking if that was the guy that died. I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, it looked serious. He was taken away with a paramedic there as well, I think. But the guy was surrounded by about 30 cops. I don't know, maybe it wasn't that many. It was at least a dozen. At least. It was probably, I can't believe it was less than 20. I can't believe it. It was just, you know, looking at, I didn't count them physically, but it was a shed load. There were guys, there were about 6 cops pinning him down, and he wasn't struggling. He was crying out for help, actually. Remember that George Floyd thing? Well, this guy, I doubt that he was on that much meth, for a start. Yeah, pinned down by about 6 cops, and then that whole scene was surrounded by another, well, I would have thought at least a dozen extra, if not another 20 odd cops that were keeping people at bay, trying to inhibit their filming of what was going on, and eventually taking the guy away into custody, having had him pinned down for, I don't know, I sort of flicked through the video. I think it must have been between 30 and 40 minutes they had this guy pinned down. I mean, can you... really nasty police tactics. I mean, just bully boy, bullets in blue. And then today there's another protest with BLM. And it's just fine, yeah, no worries, you carry on, no problem. There's people there not wearing masks as well. But I just saw one image, yeah, of that one, I have to say, as opposed to an hour and a half video. But nonetheless, in that image, they were occupying Oxford Circus, and they weren't wearing masks. So most of them were, actually, but a lot of them weren't. And the police were standing idly by, not in riot gear, as they were yesterday. So this is what a lot of people are calling two-tier policing. And what else is it? We've got Cressida Dick, head of the Met, who we know doesn't want Brexit. I heard her myself on Radio 4 slamming Brexit. So she is a political commissioner. She's not a proper cop that doesn't get involved in politics. She is a political cop. And then we've got Sadiq Khan, who clearly she works very, very closely with, and we know that he's a big Benjani type character. Anyway, so that's that. All good fun, isn't it? So it's getting pretty nasty in the UK. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do this little video now was because somebody asked me if I would be there next Saturday, this coming Saturday. So what's that going to be, about the 24th, 25th, something like that, I guess, of September? And the answer is no, because I'm in the wrong bloody country with quarantine issues and empty pockets. However, if anybody wants to do an interview about what happened yesterday in Trafalgar Square, with a view particularly to, if you like, prequelling and sponsoring, discussing, selling, getting people to next weekend, then please get in touch with me. Olly at dailychaos.news. Olly at dailychaos.news. Just send me an email. I'm pretty crap with Messenger, I'm pretty crap with WhatsApp, pretty crap with everything, frankly. I'm pretty crap with everything in terms of comms. But I will look at those emails. I do check that email account. And I'd love to do an interview. I'm not doing Daily Chaos now for a little while, or at least not in the same format, because the show, various things, not least of all work. And so I've had to take a bit of a step back. Having done about 500 daily Brexits stroke daily chaoses, yeah. But I have just now, and it was all a bit sudden because of circumstances, yeah, that I wasn't really expecting. I haven't canned it, but I have suspended it. But whilst the live show is not going out at the moment, I do want to be doing interviews, which is going to be much easier because they can be done at any time of day, which makes booking guests so much easier. And also they're going to be shorter. They're not going to be, an hour show, an hour 15 minutes or whatever. They're going to be 10-minute interviews because they're the kind of interviews that you can get to go viral. And so hopefully that helps to get the message out a bit more easily than doing a show. And the thing about a live show is, well, one, it's too long. We all have a good old rant or whatever. And so it's not maybe focused enough. And it's just live stuff is just not shareable as short, chunk-sized, bite-sized media. So if anybody wants to do an interview about next weekend, fantastic. If anybody else wants to do an interview about anything else that is relevant to what's going on, i.e. in this Ordo ab chao kind of a world, then equally, please get in touch. Olly at dailychaos.news. It's good to see some of the old retainers in the community, the Witchers, the Russells of this world, who are still on the case, still doing their stuff, still encouraging people with such beautiful spirit. And I have to say, I personally, and this is one of the reasons actually that I kind of put Daily Chaos, the actual show, on hold a bit, because I find it so very frustrating. Walking up a hill in a headwind in terms of the censorship, the Facebook bans, the group jailings, all that nonsense. And it can be very frustrating. Then, well, there's the tech. But these guys, it's really lovely to see their chivies, and they encourage me. They encourage me to keep going, and I love them for it. I'm really, really grateful to see other people doing it much better than me, much more successfully than I do. But I don't actually care anymore about the numbers. I really don't. I care about enough people speaking out. Because if you only spoke to one person, if everybody only spoke to one person, then you'd have an opportunity to create some awareness. And so, okay, we're not going to have everybody speak to one person. And in fact, if everybody was speaking, you wouldn't need to speak to one person, because there wouldn't be anybody else to speak to. There's nowhere. So basically between us, we just got to speak to as many people as we can, etc., blah, 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 record. Right. Now then, it has come to my attention that... Oh no, hold on a second. Is that recording? Oh yeah, it is recording. Right, after all that 14 minutes, I don't think the damn thing had been recorded. I don't want to do that again. That these bojo Brexiteers, jolly chummy chap, lovely, no problem. Oh, Brexit's done. It was done in January. Olly Connelly, you silly chap, it was done. Yeah, right, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. He gave us that wonderful Irish Sea border. That plus 30 however many billion quids down the pan ain't Brexit. Oh, ECB liability to the tune of hundreds of billions exposure. whereby we are bankrupt. You like bankrupt, bloody God damn it, Brexit's done. Boris is a liar. He's a liar, and I'll tell you why he's a liar, and I can prove that he's a liar right now. Because he told us he would get Brexit done in January with his withdrawal agreement, which wasn't his withdrawal agreement anyway. It was Angela Merkel's and Theresa May's Berlin Agreement that was then discussed at Chequers, the so-called Chequers Agreement. And he basically just did change a little bit. He did improve it, yeah. But he's still left in this huge threat on the Union of the UK. With that border and the liability and a whole bunch of other stuff. Then there's Huawei, yeah. And we've still got the Chinese potentially spying on us for years to come under Bojo's plan. This is the guy, Bojo, yeah, who did nothing about Theresa May's signatory to the UN Migration Compact, yeah, which basically negates all borders. Takes a bulldozer to the bulldozers, not exactly in the spirit of Brexit and controlling our borders, huh? The opposite. Well, we're not surprised that she did it. She was such a glaringly obvious foreign agent from day one. She voted Remain, for crying out loud. I'm exhausted. And he didn't do anything about it. That, to me, as soon as that happened, as soon as he got into office and he didn't do anything about that, didn't do anything about the BBC, didn't do anything about Theresa May's autocratically decided diktat on climate, whatever it is, carbon credit, 2050, all that. Another opportunity to bankrupt old Blighty when guess what? China's doing bugger all except building coal-fired power stations. Not exactly a way to negotiate, is it? So he didn't do anything about that. He didn't do anything about the UN Migration Compact. There's Huawei. House arrest. Yeah. For what is it? A 0.002% mortality rate, which means that what? 99.002% of us are still alive. He shut down the economy for that. Now, I'm not saying that there, aren't issues with this COVID thing. I know people personally who've been affected. One chap who nearly died. Other people I hear who have. I don't know whether or not they had COVID or whether they were just another one of these statistics added to the list where the doctors told, if in doubt, shove COVID on the death cert. Or whether it was a genuinely accompanying factor with an underlying pre-existing condition. But we do know that even that 0.002% stat is a lot of old quack cock. And anyway, how much evidence do you need, Bojo Brexiteers, that the guy is a fraud? Trump said last night, I listened to his speech last night in, where was he last night? North Carolina, something like that. And he was on fire, actually, with a big old crowd there and all that. He was saying how, these lockdowns, they're going to be called off, these some of these Democrats over there, they've got their state lockdowns, haven't they? A bit like, you know, they're doing everywhere else or wherever, or doing here and there. And he said, look, yes, to mark my words, on the 4th of November, they'll all be over. They'll all be over. They just want the postal ballots. The postal ballots. Now, these are globalists, yeah, they're globalists. They don't work nationally. They work internationally, intranationally, with globalist puppets for leaders in all these various countries. And so it is not so inconceivable that they are orchestrating all these lockdowns around the world purely to influence postal ballots and to assist the Democrats stealing that presidential election. And it's, from where I stand, it seems the only way they can do it is through theft. It looks like he's going to get a landslide. Far more, he's doing better in, you know, even Rasmussen, for example, polling. He's polling better than he was before the actual election that got him into office in 2016. So, I don't know, it seems to me that he's doing very, very well, or would be, if it wasn't for the fact that there are powers, evil powers, who are trying to derail democracy and the Trump train. And I think that that's what it's all about with regards the lockdowns going on around the world. I think that that's why people around the world need to be talking about this. And if the election is stolen, and we then go more towards a totalitarian China model of government, or what successive serial leaders from again around the world have called for and told us was good for us, which is this new world order, first mooted by, well, in my lifetime anyway, I think George Herbert Walker Bush all those years ago. Gordon Brown had Tourette's about it. Tony Blair talking about it a lot. All sorts of people talking about it. In the States, Barack Obama talking about it. People like John Kerry talking about it. Anyway, look, that's what they want. That's what they want. This kind of they want this Trump chap stopped. And the point is here, Bojo Brexiteers, if he is stopped, ain't no Brexit. So would you please, kindly, Brexiteering group leaders, stop being complacent. Stop putting apathy before scrutiny. And start asking questions about all of those above points that I've just made about Boris Johnson and his tissue of lies. The UN Migration Compact should be enough. There was no debate in the House of Commons. None. It was all done behind closed doors without the British people being consulted. The media said nothing. I didn't see a single story about it until months, if not a year, after her signature at Marrakesh, where she signed that thing, which basically says, enough borders, that's it. Let's just let everybody go where they want to go and we'll help them. We'll help them. Oh, you can pay for it, pleb. Whoa. Bojo's done nothing to change that, which completely contradicts the democratic will of the British people with that EU referendum. They were actually escorting illegal migrants who could claim asylum in France. Instead of which, the border force, the British border force, is going out and negotiating with the French Navy to pick them up and escort them across the Channel. And as we know, care of Nigel Farage, Brilliant reportage, thank God somebody did it. Putting them up in 4-star spas. Getting some funny looks here, I must be getting a bit passionate. So look, people, no complacency. The man's a fraud. Bojo is a proven fraud. Oh, he's, I'm good fun, chummy. I bet you could have a lovely laugh with him down at the pub. I don't give a about that. I don't give a damn about that. I just want my sovereignty. So if you agree with me, and if you're in a Brexit group that isn't asking these questions, you should be asking yourself, why are they not asking these questions? Why? Are they fake Brexiteers? As they are, for example, in the Bruges group. The Bruges group is a fake Brexit group. Doesn't give a stuff about anything apart from the Tory party. Maggie Thatcher, I think, bless her, would be spinning in her grave if she knew that they were using her name in vain over Brexit, when actually all they wanted to do was to get the Tories back into power. They don't give a damn who the leader is. They kicked me out of that group when it was the leadership campaign and Boris was in there, and I had I don't know if some of you were following me or what, but I mean, I had high hopes for him. Didn't trust him. Don't entirely trust Trump either, for that matter. I don't trust any politician, frankly, these days, after what I've seen in my lifetime. But I do know this. Trump's our best hope. He's our best hope for being a straight, genuinely regular kind of guy. Boris is not. Boris is not Mr. Brexit. He will not deliver Brexit unless he is forced to deliver Brexit by a Brexiteering US president. And that has to be Donald Trump. I hope it is. Because sure as hell it ain't going to be nobody else. And if it doesn't happen, Brexit, in the next few years, yeah, that's it. That's it. Never mind the next few years, it has to happen. On the last day of this year, we can't have any more Brextensions. It's not a Brextension, it's remain until we are out. And those people say, oh, we had Brexit. You dolt, Connelly. We had Brexit, in January. Bojo told us. You chummy chum. You're an idiot. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologise. But you're not thinking. You're not thinking. We're still in the customs union. We are still in the single market. We are still in the jurisdiction of the ECJ. We are answerable to the EU until we are out and we have true Brexit, which is leaving those three things, getting back our fisheries. We also have to ensure that I'm getting more funny looks. God, I think it might be a Brexit. Also, got to sort out that ECB, European Central Banking exposure. That's the other thing. Nobody's talking about it. Never have. It's never really, barely. One or two stories I've seen. That's it. About exposure enough to break the country, to bankrupt it. Well, we know the media's crap. We know what side the media's on. We know all that. We've just got to keep going, yeah. But what we cannot afford, and this is really my point, and this is the reason I wanted to do this video today. We cannot be complacent and just expect it all to happen. We have to, as best we can, keep holding this government's feet to the fire. We have to be questioning what is going on, truly, with these lockdowns and ruining everybody's business and God knows what. People starving, committing suicide. I would be fascinated to know the truth of the number of people that have really, really died from this COVID thing and the number of people that have committed suicide. I hate to think. And I really, really hate to think what that stat will be this time next year. We have to be questioning what's going on for the sake of a 0.002% mortality rate, which is by the government's own documents telling doctors, if in doubt, put COVID on the cert, etc., is a hyped stat. It's not a genuine stat, even at that tiny level in terms of a pandemic. Is that a pandemic? Well, I mean, they don't call tuberculosis a pandemic, and that kills a lot more people. Oh, and what about cancer? Cancer's a pandemic! Okay, I'm not going to rant. I apologise to those of you that think I'm a bit passionate. I apologise to those of you who I have possibly shouted at or been rude to in the past because I felt that you needed to wake up, frankly. I apologise. I don't have any grudge against anybody. None. Not even really people who are on the other side, because I'm just not that kind of guy. But having said that, people that are messing around in the groups, divide ruling us, oh, those people, they are scum. Those people, those fake Brexiteers, they are the lowest of the low. Oh, those people I do have a problem with. But generally speaking, I just want unity. I just want us all to get together and to just keep talking and don't be complacent. Because I fear that, if, God forbid, they do turn this election rigged for the Democrats and we get Biden in, well, we know, no trade deal. And that will be used against us. Boris will say, we've got a problem there. We will actually want. Let's have another Brexit. I mark my words. That's exactly what would happen. Now you're thinking, oh yeah, but come on, Trump's a shoo-in. Is he? He should be. From everything that I see, he should be. But will he be? Is he? I've seen a lot of stories. We have seen the riots. We've seen the looting. We've seen the number of deaths. Children being killed in the United States. Republican staffers. 2 of them were shot just this week. 1 of them died. A teenager. These are the kind of lengths that they will go to. These mad, Marks, whatever, they're just nasty people. These are the kind of lengths that they will go to steal power. And if they're prepared to do that now, when there's no cover of postal ballots, what will they be prepared to do then? Well, look, I'll tell you something that apparently is happening. There's a whole bunch of groups funded by, guess who? George Soros, are planning, have a machine in place. So that as soon as people come out of the polls on the 3rd of November, metaphorically, because they've probably already put in their postal ballots and whatever else previously, they will be going straight on the streets, irrespective of the result, and they will be protesting. And that could turn into, I just wonder if that might be the beginning of, some people say we're already in the Civil War in the States. It seems to me that what we're seeing is the foothills. And it could turn into the Civil War on election day, effectively. I mean, it really, really does look pretty damn serious. So I don't think that Trump is a shoo-in. Because if they can, Clinton, for example, and Pelosi have both said, Do not concede, Biden. Do not concede the election. Whatever happens, don't concede, Clinton said. Hillary Clinton. Don't you love her? Oh, I've got to sit down. Yeah, don't concede. Whatever happened to the great American system? It's completely gone, completely mad. But we're basically seeing the culmination of decades of work to destroy the United States and the UK and countries all over Europe and countries around the world. Look at what's going on in Australia now. I'm not going to get into that now on this video, but what's going on in Australia is really, 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 really concerning. I'm hoping to do an interview with an old friend of mine who is in Australia in the next few days, actually, to try and bring a bit more about what's going on the ground there. Because I think actually it's more frightening than anything I've heard. Well, unless you're living in a riot zone in a Democrat-controlled city in the States. So they want to disrupt, not just disrupt, but they want to stop this election. They want to stop it. Now, the thing, what they can do is, by not conceding, they can basically they can basically freeze the election. Stop it. They're going to have postal ballots coming in for days after the election as well. Pennsylvania, for example, this is being contested actually in court, but Pennsylvania Supreme Court has ruled that they can carry on the postal voting for 3 days after the election. Well, automatically that means that the election cannot be absolutely called until the 6th, just because of Pennsylvania. And that's, there's other Democrat, kind of regimes in the various states that are trying different ploys and so on and so forth. And they may get away with pulling these ploys, putting them into action at least, because it's a republic. That's the way it works. It's a collection of states, and there is always a bit of a question mark of where the power resides in the state and where it resides in the federal republic. And therefore, these states, they may well get away with this. But basically, that's going to court. This whole Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying could change things as well. But there is a possibility at the moment, and this is worst case here, but this is, as I understand it, the way this should play out. If nobody concedes, if neither side has the decency, which is really what it amounts to in an election, one side having the decency to concede, if neither side does that, then the Senate gets, now I'm getting a bit confused. Between the Senate and the House of Representatives, they get to choose. But I think actually it's I'm pretty sure that I'm right in saying it's actually the representatives that get the final say. And if, for example, we had the makeup of what we have at the moment, similarly represented after this election, which has a conservative strong Senate, GOP, and a Republican, and a Democrat strong House of Representatives, then that would mean that Nancy Pelosi, they get to choose. The Democrats would basically get to choose. It would be it would be a Democrat president. It would be a globalist. There would be no Brexit. And worse, we would be sliding into China-style totalitarianism across the world. They, of course, have the UN in their pocket. We've seen that with the COVID business, for example. They have the media in their pocket. They have everybody in their pocket. They have Joe Biden. Trump was talking about Hunter Biden and his China. Anyway, look, just be wary, people. Yeah, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. Right, oh, blimey. I want a cigarette. I can have a cigarette and walk home. Yeah, so I'll do some interviews this week, and I'll keep them short. Well, I say I'll do some. I'll do one or two, and from now on I'm going to be doing some interviews rather than whole shows, because it's just easier, and I think it'll be more effective. Little chunks go out, easier to share or whatever, and hopefully more focused. So, still in the fight, people. But I have to say, I do feel a bit cut off right now in Spain. I'd like to be there next Saturday. I'd have liked to have been there the last few Saturdays in London. But it's actually a bit of a way from where I am, and one way and another, not just in terms of distance. But look, I do want to support as much as I can. So if anybody wants to do some interviews about what's going on next weekend, or indeed, if you want to put up some ideas for interviews with regards to what's going on with election 2020 and Brexit, although frankly that is not my focus at the moment, because it just seems to me Brexit's almost a distraction. The thing that people really, really need to concentrate on is what's going on in the United States. That is where the wind has turned to, big time. Just be aware of that, people. Okay, it's my opinion. But you know what? I'm bloody right. I'm sorry, but I am. It's as plain as day. Here's to us. Bugger plutocracy. dailychaos.news / Daily Chaos. Oh, for crying out loud. Yeah, .news. Yeah, dailychaos.news. Go and register, people. I've no idea when I'm going to actually be finally banned from Facebook. Most of you watching this, you're probably on Facebook. A lot of you on YouTube. On YouTube, I guess I'm safe for now, more or less. They just don't let people know, I think, when I do shows and stuff. But on Facebook, I'm constantly rolling shadow banned and rolling group bans. Yeah, so I can only post to groups that I'm an admin of. If you want my stuff and you're not getting it to your group, then make me an admin and I can post it up. But otherwise, basically very, very restricted on Facebook, ridiculously restricted. So please, people, I know this is happening with a lot of you as well. Get over to dailychaos.news and register there, because there is a messenger service, not just for person to person, but also to groups. So you can have a quiet, private chat with a group if you want to, and stuff like that. There's the forum, and all of that. So, and I want to build it up with all sorts of stuff. I am working on it. I've had other things that I had to do work-wise, but it is not just stalled. Yeah, it is not just stalled, and I do intend to be building up. Please get over there, because I don't want to lose touch with people, and other people that don't want to lose touch with other people. You're welcome. Use it, run it. I don't want it to be my place. I want it to be our place. That's why I built the thing, yeah. So please, get over there and get tucked in. And if there's people out there that are like, oh, you know what, this Olly bloke, I mean, we fell out over, I don't know, some silly disagreement because, I don't know, somebody thought that the whole FCO 1038, 30, whatever, was had a different take on it, or who cares? Yeah, who cares? We are all on the same side. We want our sovereignty. Yeah, we want our sovereignty. We want freedom. I don't give a damn about whether we've had a tiff or not. If you're genuine. All right. Okay. dailychaos.news, and I'll be posting up some other stuff, but mostly, I think the message that I want you to hear from this is, first of all, interviews please for next Saturday. I'd really like to promote that, because as I say, I feel a bit useless in Spain, so anything I can do to help, I'd like to do it. And the other thing is, with regards to all this, Brexit's going to happen, don't be silly, Ollie type stuff, please think about what I've said. And now this is really important, if your Brexiteerian group leaders are not saying what I'm saying, if they're not asking these questions, you should be asking why. Because in my opinion, they're deceiving you. And, there is a lot of controlled opposition in this whole deal, everywhere.
I've seen it doing daily Brexit. My God, it was a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. The number of bastards that came in and tried to ruin the thing. Controlled opposition. Maybe some of them weren't, and I just, I don't know, should have been more trusting or something. Maybe I made one or two mistakes. But I do know for a fact that there were people that were lying to me serially about various things, pretending X, Y, and Z, and saying this and that and the other, and it was all a lot of old cock. And a lot of division was created in that process. And I have to tell you personally, as somebody who has created a community and tried to nurture it for decent reasons, for good reasons, genuinely for good reasons, it has really frustrated the hell out of me. It really has. Pretty philosophical sort of a chap, and all that, and it's all good experience to chalk up. But look, you know what? The bottom line is that anything that's in the past is in the past. We are where we are now, today. That's it. The future. We learn from our history, and we look to the future. So please, if you want your sovereignty, like me, or you just care about democracy, like me, I don't give a damn where you live in this world. I don't give a damn. For me, Brexit is one battle in a much, much bigger war. This war against globalization. It's a huge battle, and it's one that has to be won. Just as the United States must not fall. These two countries are pivotal. If you feel the same way I do, if we've fallen out for some reason in the past, who gives a stuff? Let's just, for crying out loud, unite. And if people are not asking these questions, please ask yourself why. All right, God bless you. Ciao. It's a Sunday night. I hope you have a nice one. Me, I'm going to have a bottle of wine. Ciao.